Senator Klein.
Mr. President, I believe Senator Espada has a resolution at the desk. I ask the resolution be read in its entirety and move for its immediate adoption.
Senator Klein, has this resolution been deemed privileged and submitted by the Office of the Temporary President?
Yes, it has, Mr. President.
Secretary will read.
By Senators Klein and Espada, legislative resolution celebrating the life and legacy of Meg Felice Charlop, a distinguished citizen and devoted member of her community. Whereas, it is the custom of this legislative body to pay tribute to the citizens of the state of New York whose life work and civic endeavor serve to enhance the quality of life in their communities and the great state of New York. And whereas Meg Felice Charlop died tragically in a bicycle accident on Wednesday, March 17, 2010, she was 57 years old. And whereas Meg Felice Charlop moved to the Bronx in 1976 during the darkest days of the borough's history and worked as a community and housing organizer in the Morrisana section of the Bronx. And whereas Meg Felice Charlop worked as a housing organizer and administrator for the Fordham Bedford Housing Corporation. And whereas for the last 26 years, Meg Felice Charlop worked for the Montefiore Medical Center, where she was a borough-wide, citywide, and national leader in the fight against childhood lead poisoning. And whereas Meg Felice Charlop conceived of the idea and founded the Montefiore Hospital Lead Safe House, the first in the city of New York, and a citywide model funded by the former Bronx Borough President Fernando Ferrar. And whereas since 1992, Meg Felice Charlop was employed as the Director of Community Health for the Montefiore Hospital School-Based Health Program, where she worked tirelessly to develop and promote health education programs for the public school children of the Bronx and advocated for policy initiatives to help make the Bronx and the city a healthier place to live. And whereas Meg Felice Charlop actively promoted bicycle riding as an alternative mode of transportation and a means to promote a healthy lifestyle, she was regularly seen riding her bike throughout the Bronx and to meetings in Manhattan. And whereas Meg Felice Charlop was honored as a Paul Harris Fellow by the Bronx Rotary Club Gift for Life program and as a Bronx Mother of the Year by former Mayor David Dinkins. And whereas Meg Felice Charlop lived and was employed her entire adult life in the Bronx, always working tirelessly and passionately to make it a better and healthier place to live and work. And whereas Meg Felice Charlop and her husband, Richard Powers, raised their 4 children, Sarah, Zachary, Rachel, and Aaron, in the Bronx, and educated them in New York City public schools, they all survive her, as well as 3 foster children, Shonda, Alicia, and Chris. And whereas Meg Felice Charlop leaves behind a legacy of love, commitment, and community involvement, which inspires us to continue to support and fight for the causes which she so passionately believed in and worked so tirelessly for. And now therefore be it resolved that this legislative body pause in its deliberations to celebrate the life and accomplishments of Meg Felice Charlop, distinguished citizen and devoted and beloved member of her community. And be it further resolved that copies of this resolution, suitably engrossed, be transmitted to the family of Meg Felice Charlop.